Hey there everyone, we are nearing the end of June, and that means we are due for a new legendary hero to grace our in-game notifications. So I wanted to take a minute today to just kind of talk about what we're likely going to be seeing. First to note, I have done videos like this in the past, but I thought a change of pace was due. So instead of just covering who I think the next legendary or mythic hero is going to be, we are also going to be cover possible banner units that will show up as well based on previous banners and patterns. And then additionally, the layout is a lot different because as you can see, there's a lot to talk about and I need the full screen. So we're just going full on table and we'll talk about it that way. It's a little bit easier and hopefully a little less graphically overwhelming given all of the little icons. So let's just start with the basics about what we know. All right. First of all, we have June heroes consisting of legendary Ryoma, Gunthra, Yune, Robin, Ephraim, and Lucina. Those are the ones we know are coming back legendary mythic-wise. 2 candidates from the green pool, 2 from the blue, and then 1 from both red and colorless. So that means only 1 green and 1 blue can make it before that pool is capped. And then we also have 2 possible candidates for colorless and red. The other thing that we definitely know, we're looking at these charts over here on the far right. IS may have thought that we forgot about them. I did not forget about them. I know the original charts still stand. They could pretend, okay, that they used these pair-up legendary heroes to take the place of the Earth and Fire blessing missing from the standard chart. I don't believe it. So we do technically have 1 hero missing from each of the blessing pools so far. From the pair-up chart, we're missing the Water and Wind blessing unit, and then from the standard chart, we are missing the Earth and Fire blessing unit. So one of those blessings will be filled this time around. I'm not entirely sure as to which one. I don't know that it matters a whole lot, but I guess we'll see. Either way, that's kind of what we're looking at in terms of that. The other thing that maybe is kind of an indication that we'll get into in a little bit is these pair-up heroes that we have tend to be from a singular series not represented in another legendary form. Whereas from the standard chart, we're looking at units who come in pairs or even trios in terms of the Nifl royalties. So just kind of keep that in mind as we move forward here. Something to think about. Banner possibilities. Let's talk banner possibilities. So on the last couple banners, we had units from the Binding Blade banner. I think it was called Into Darkness. And we had representatives from Sue and also Lu. Not to be rhymey, but that's where we're at in life. Thea, of course, got demoted to 4 stars, so she would not be represented coming back into the Mythic and Legendary banners. But we may see Eden. I don't know that we're going to see her. We do have 2 spots open in red, so like maybe it's a possibility. But I wouldn't bet on it. One of the, I think it was the January Laguz banner that we had from Radiant with units like Tibarn, Nyla, those guys. We did not see Tibarn come back. We only saw, the other units from that banner pop back into Legendary Mythic banners. So it's not a guarantee that banners re-showcase standard hero pool units that pop up, those 5-star exclusives. We did see representative of Valoria last month, so we have kind of moved into the Kitsune and Wolfang banner. So for what that's worth, I think we're kind of moving on to the Fates Beast units. I think we're probably leaving Iden behind. But that means we might see somebody like Keaton, Kaden, or Selkie. Again, we've already had Valoria pop up last month as a colorless rep. We may also kind of start branching into the Gallia banner that we had, featuring Laith, Mordecai, the Lion King himself, Kanagus, and Ranulf. I don't know that that's incredibly likely, because what they tend to do is every 2 banners, so a Mythic and a Legendary banner, over a 2-month period, They tend to showcase units from one special banner and then one regular 5-star exclusive pool banner that was recent. So we're still kind of working through the Kitsune banner that we had. I don't know that we'll see the Gallia banner pop up yet. It is a possibility, but I don't know that's very likely. We won't see Mordecai, obviously, because he got demoted, again, similar to Thea. But for what that's worth, we could see them pop up again. There is enough representation available in colorless, in red at least, to maybe get them. And then we also have the next special banner, which, love it or hate it, it is the Hostile Springs, the Hot Spring banner that we had right after New Year's. We just wrapped up all the New Year's units that we had the last month. And if you're not in the know, what the Legendary and Mythic banners tend to do is, in order, they start re-showcasing all the special units from the banners that we had. So, for example, a few months back, we had some Halloween units, then we had Winter, and then most recently, over the last 2 banners, we had the New Year's units pop up. So, we're likely looking into the Hot Springs banner at this point in time. So we will see representative from that, and likely some more from the Fates Beasts units as well. So Gallia is a possibility, but it's not very likely. I just thought I'd throw that in there to let you know. So if you think about that, and you think about the pools that we have, obviously colorless is very sparse, right? So nobody from the Kitsune banner, 1 from the Gallia banner, which is not very likely, and then also 1, that being Sakura, from the Hot Springs banner. Hinoka could be likely for green. That would cap the green. Could be Caden. I don't know. Elise was red. She could be in there as well. She'd be contending with Keaton. That would actually cap off the red section representatives, actually. And then we've also got Ryoma, who is blue. Again, he could pop in there and cap off the blue pool with Ephraim and Lucina. But then there's also Selkie. So it starts to kind of question, like, who are they going to represent more, right? And what I tend to notice from the way that the banners are kind of laid out, we typically see 2 units-ish, roughly, from a 5-star exclusive recent New Heroes banner, and then the Special Heroes banner. Because, again, they spread those out over the course of 2 to 3 months, typically 2 months. So I don't necessarily think we'll see Ryoma, because I think Sakura has to be in this, just because there is no other colorless representation. Again, unless they scoop into the Gallia banner, which I don't know if they'll do that just yet. And then, of course, it's pretty likely that we'll see Elise in there as well, since the red pool is a little bit light also. So given that, Keaton is likely to show up again. I think he's going to be our next representative from the Kitsune Wolfskin banner. And then we've also got, I think we're going to be seeing Selkie. So if I had to take a swift prediction, I would say red is going to consist of Elise, Ryoma, Keaton. Green would likely consist of either Caden or Hinoka, and then also Gunthra and Yune. Blue, I think we're likely going to be seeing Ephraim, Lucina, and then more than likely Selkie. And I think that mainly because I think more often than not, well, Sakura has to be in there, as does Elise, to help fill out the pools for red, given that, you know, Keaton is kind of our only other realistic option here, outside of Gallia getting in there, which, again, is unlikely. So I think more than likely we'll see Ryoma and Hinoka on next month's banner, not this one. So that means the red and the green pool would be filled up. The blue and the green pool, rather, would be filled up by the Kitsune banner. Now, that's what leaves it at an interesting impasse, right? Because we've kind of filled out all the other pools except for colorless, in theory. But I didn't just try and base that on the candidates that I think we're going to be seeing. I left it pretty open to interpretation for the most part. And so the big thing is that I'm looking at the charts, I'm thinking about the pools, I'm thinking about what is going to be in the next banner, what's going to be on this banner. I've narrowed it down to about 5. But really, I'm pulling for 2 based on what I've seen so far. Number 1, Elwood. Elwood makes a lot of sense. He would fit the trio from the standard pool. I could see him as being an Earth Blessing unit for sure. Might also be in pair up. I think Elwood is widely accepted as being paired off with Ninian for the most part. Similar kind of to how Roy is paired off with Lilina. It's not necessarily canon, but it's pretty widely accepted. If you haven't seen the Cypher Set 16 Lilina and Roy combined card art, I mean, pretty big indication there. Anyway, so not necessarily any canon stuff happening, but I feel like he would fit. He does fit the pool for either a lance or a sword unit, so he does fill up a kind of multitude of weapon options for that. Doesn't necessarily fit with the colorless, but that doesn't mean that we're actually going to have a colorless unit. Again, these are just base estimates. Sigurd and Leaf. I'm going to kind of combine these two because they're genealogy boys. The Jugdral series is, I think, kind of similar to Valentia in that there are a lot of canon pairings. They are maybe not as well known. And if you haven't noticed, I feel like the pair-up chart is kind of conforming with those types of games. They were either never localized or very late to be localized. They have a much more straightforward, kind of less customizable story option, things like that. So I get a very pair-up chart vibe from the Jugdral units, and I think either Sigurd or Leaf could be very, very strong potential for that particular banner. Again, the canon relationships that are representative in those games, pretty big indication there. Similar to how Alm is destined to be with Celica, things like that. I think they could fit pretty well. Again, they are pretty much sword boys for the most part. They might be able to sneak in a secondary weapon there somewhere, but that doesn't necessarily make a big difference given that there is no particular bonus other than pair up for that particular chart. And I guess if walking back to Elwood, I guess he could be speed. I don't know why he'd be res, but it's possible. And then we have Corrin, male Corrin. Male Corrin makes a lot of sense for a number of reasons. Number 1, similar to how we have Legendary Robin and Fel Robin, we now have Fel female Corrin, but no Legendary Corrin. So we have a Legendary female Corrin, a Fel, a fallen male Robin. Wait, we have a Legendary female Robin. There it is. And a fallen male Robin as well. So I think going off of those any gender avatar type leader units, it would make a lot of sense to have a Hoshiden male Corrin as a legendary unit. He could fit either, honestly, in the pair-up section. I don't feel like he fits as well with the other units there. Or even down in the standard. I could see them pairing him up with, I don't know, somebody like Makoto or Azura, or pick a sibling. It's the possibilities are pretty out there. Not only that, but this particular banner does seem to have a lot of Fates units on it. So they could go either way and really like dig their heels into the fact that this is going to be a Fates heavy legendary banner, and then just kind of throw male Corrin in there to top it off. Or they could do something less suspecting and go with somebody else. So male Corrin, I feel like a Hoshiden alt would make a lot of sense. I think fallen female Corrin, that's a lot of adjectives, has the Norian outfit on. And I think Hoshiden male Corrin is kind of the general correspondence, whereas the female Corrin version is typically more Fates related, I think, for the most, or not Fates. the other one, Conquest related. So that's kind of where my head's at with that. He makes a lot of sense. And then there's Micaiah. And if I had to put money on a unit, I'm not a betting man, but if I had to put money on a unit, I would probably say it's Micaiah. A number of reasons. Ike is sitting there by his lonesome. There is not a single unit on the standard legendary hero chart that does not have another pairing or trio from said set of games. Ryoma has Azura. We have the Royals from Neefel. Lucina and Robin go together. Tiki and Marth. Ephraim and Erica. And then, of course, we have the Hector Lynn combo. So Ike's just kind of there on his own. And as opposed to the pair-up chart, I feel like Ike needs a friend down there. And who better to rep than Micaiah, honestly, at that point. I know Alencia is also kind of up there, but I just don't see her really... I don't really see her filling that role. It could be Alencia. That's definitely an option. But I think Micaiah makes a lot more sense. Micaiah could be also a healer. Her advanced class does get access to staves, so she could have a staff. And that's pretty beneficial given that more than likely we're looking at a colorless unit because there is not enough colorless representation, again, unless you include Gallia, to help fit that mold and cap off the colorless units for this particular banner. It is possible that they just randomly throw in a unit, like, I don't know, Elise or Brave Veronica, something like that. But it's not very likely because, again, these banners tend to be pretty predictable for the most part because they follow a pretty intrinsic pattern. So I don't want to say we're getting a colorless hero, but based on the units that we have as possibilities filling in those color pools, I think more than likely we're looking at a colorless candidate. And we don't have a legendary staff unit yet. We just got a bow. We just got a legendary bow unit. So it's very possible that we could round out the bunch and get a staff unit. Colorless bow, I think people were waiting on. We've got blue and green as well, but no red. And everybody's waiting for Alm, so I think that was only a matter of time. Micaiah does make a lot of sense, though. She's another box art favorite, I guess, rep from the Radiant game. I don't know. If I was a betting man, I'd put my money on Micaiah this time. And I've said that a lot in the past. I even had her pegged for back in April, I think it was, for the next legendary hero. But I genuinely think we're looking at a legendary Micaiah this time. If not, more than likely it's going to be male Corrin. Either way, I'm fine with it, I guess. The next 2 months are going to be pretty crazy orb-wise anyway, so I guess we just take it how it comes, man. We play the cards how they lie. So, but that's kind of where my head's at. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to do so. We have a lot going on this week, and then probably for the next several months, because Three Houses is coming out. We have Mythic unit, or not Mythic units, Three Houses units, Legendary Brave units, Mythic units, all kinds of good stuff in the next couple months. So if you don't want to miss any talk about that, you should subscribe. We're also going to be doing a giveaway very soon, so be on the lookout for that. Probably going to launch that in the next week or so. But that's all I have for right now. In the comments, let me know who you would like to see as the next legendary hero in Fire Emblem Heroes. That's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.